Hi, I am Swellen Cummings. I'm going to be going through my FBA FA review presentation. So, a little bit about me. I have been in the ABA field for about 3 years now. I work in a small family owned private clinic. I work alongside occupational therapists and speech therapists, which I really enjoy. So I really hope to kind of take that with me in the future. Um, I've talked to my bosses about already having a position at my job as a BCBA when I'm done, and that would be ideal. If not, I would love to have something very similar, as in a smaller clinic, private clinic. I really do enjoy, along OTs and speech therapists. I also have an interest in trying out school setting. I used to be a teacher, and so I do like school settings, and I would be interested in trying that out. But I've excuse me, I've never done that as an RBT or working in the ABA field at least. My experiences with behavioral assessments is I do have experience with functional behavior assessments. I don't. I have very little experience with functional analysis, as in I've never really conducted one. I've seen one. We've talked about it in my clinic before, but I've never actually conducted one. So it's pretty little to no experience with that. So we're going to jump right in. What is the difference between a functional behavior assessment and a functional analysis? Functional behavior assessment examines both the antecedents to, which is the environmental conditions prior, and the consequences of, which is the environmental conditions following a target problem behavior. This is a three-turn contingency. A functional analysis involves direct observation and measurement of severe problem behavior under different conditions in which some environmental event thought to be relevant to that severe problem behavior has been manipulated. And this involves testing how conditions can change the severe problem behavior. So I would say the biggest difference to me is that FBAs are a bit more descriptive, whereas functional analysis are a bit more experimental because you're actually experimenting. All right, so when we're talking about behavior, I think it's always important to keep the four functions of behavior in mind. So they're listed right here: escape, attention, tangible, and sensory. And I just wanted to throw those out here so we kind of keep those in mind going forward throughout this presentation, because we will be talking about this. So what constitutes a problem behavior? According to Leaf et al., 2022, goals targeted for behavior reduction must hold social significance. So we are not trying to change the individual as a person, or, what I like to say is we're not trying to make these kids into robots. We are just looking at these behaviors, and if there is a behavior that is negatively impacting this individual's life in some way, then that's going to be a good behavior to target for reduction. And then there are some examples here at the bottom. So if the behavior interferes with the individual's learning or the learning of others, again, a negative, that's pretty negative to you and your life. If the behavior results in self-injury or injury to others, of course, that's a very important behavior to target. Is if you're injuring yourself, if you're injuring other people, this is not something that's ever going to positively impact you. If the behavior socially isolates the individual, so just not being able to be social out in the real world, and you're just isolating yourself, and stuff like that. If the behavior interferes with the independence of the individual too, because ultimately we want the kids to be, or the individuals to be, independent in what they learn in ABA. So when should a FBA be conducted? When you have a new client coming into ABA or your clinic and you need to conduct a functional behavior assessment in order to kind of pinpoint what behaviors you're seeing and the function of those behaviors, and then what's the best intervention moving forward. If there's a new problem behavior occurring, you're going to want to conduct an FBA for, again, seeing what those behaviors are and what the function of those are, and again, what the best intervention is moving forward. And then if the behavior is increasing in frequency or intensity, you're going to want to conduct an FBA, because behaviors can change and the function can change too. So if you're seeing the behavior changing and maybe the intervention you have already implemented is not working, or if it's not showing any changes in that, you're going to maybe want to conduct another FBA and see. So here are the steps to conduct an FBA, and this is from the Cooper book. So number one, you're going to gather information via indirect and descriptive assessment. You're going to want to, number two, interpret information from assessments and formulate hypotheses about the purpose of the problem behavior. 3, you're going to want to test that hypothesis using a functional analysis. And then 4, you're going to want to develop intervention options based on the function of the behavior. All right, so my personal experience, like I said before, is I've never conducted a functional analysis. I have heard about it at my clinic. We've talked about it before. I do know my boss says, or my BCBA, we don't do that much at my clinic. I can't really think if we've talked about a real reason on why we do or we don't, but we definitely do FBAs, and I've got pretty much a good amount of experience with conducting FBAs. So I'm going to kind of just go through how we do FBAs at my clinic. So number one, we observe. We collect APC data on all of the behaviors we're seeing, and during this we don't intervene unless the problem behavior is, of course, harming them, myself, or others. Then I'm going to want to take the baseline data. I'm going to collect baseline data and using the written operational definitions that we collected from the ABC data. Again, I'm not going to intervene unless it's a harmful behavior to me or the individual or others. And then I'm going to analyze that data, and I'm going to develop a hypotheses on the function of the behavior. And then the last step is an intervention. I'm going to obtain consent from the caregiver for the intervention that we have chosen. And once I start the intervention, I will intervene on the behavior as outlined in the client's BIP. Sorry. All right, so we're on the conclusions now. I think what I would like to learn more about is functional analysis, obviously, because I don't have much experience with that. I would like for my classmates, if anybody has, if they have a lot of experience with functional analysis, what does that look like? And like, do you enjoy that? If you do both functional analysis and FBAs, which one do you think you like more? Or I guess I just want to know more about the functional analysis and like how you do it at your jobs. Also, if your FBAs kind of look the same as how I implement my FBAs at my clinic. And then how does my coursework compare to my field experience? I think I am learning a lot more about how and like when and why I'm going to be conducting FBAs and functional analysis, especially since I don't have that experience in functional analysis. Whereas in my field experience, I'm helping my BCBA, and she's kind of helping me. I am shadowing a little bit right now, and I have never been like super sure on exactly when is the best time to conduct each one. So that's what I'm learning in my coursework. And I will go to the next slide. These are my references. So that's it. Thanks for watching.